Hey everyone, AlexJWilson.com here. Welcome back to our weekly chat. I'm the team lead of Alex J. Wilson, and of course we have Kyle DeVigi here again, Director of Operations from Remax Wealth Builders Real Estate. So Kyle, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I think we should talk about the spring market. It's upon us, and we have a lot of launches coming up in Toronto that we're very excited about. And in the downtown core, they're selling around $1,200 to $1,300 a square foot. And the premium locations are about $1,600 to $1,800 a square foot.
Yep.
Obviously, quite expensive. Not everyone can invest in those units. Are there any other good investments in Toronto proper that people could look at?
Yeah, so Toronto downtown, that's your blue chip locations. But there are locations, hidden gems that I like to call, beyond, let's say, the downtown core that offer some good opportunities. And one of them is actually happening in our backyard.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about this opportunity. It's actually on the grounds of Galleria Mall.
Yeah, so Galleria Mall. So Kyle lives in the Bloor Dufferin neighborhood. I live in the Bloor Dundas neighborhood. Now, there hasn't been a lot of development in this area over the years, but development's finally coming. And the first project that's being brought to market is the Galleria Mall development, which we're both excited about because it's literally in our backyard. Now, the people behind this project is the visionary developer Freed Developments. Peter Freed is the person that created King West as we know it today. When he entered that area, it was a bunch of old warehouses, and he had the vision and forward-thinking design to make it the cool, hip place to be here in Toronto. And now we have developers like Westbank, incredible developer, launching projects between that 1618 to nearly 2,000 per square foot mark in the neighborhood that Peter Freed built. Now Peter Freed is bringing his visionary development skills and moving to a new neighborhood, the Galleria Mall, and ready to make a transformation. In the resale market in the King West area, we've seen prices skyrocket as the area has transformed. Now in the resale market, we see values like at 75 Portland, a Peter Freed developed building sell for nearly $1,200 per square foot. Thompson Residences recently completed at over $1,100 per square foot. This is what Peter Freed brings to a neighborhood with his forward-thinking design. His resales always outperform the current market. So now he's bringing that to the Bloor Dufferin area. Now the Galleria Mall is also, his partner on this project is an international developer known as ELAD. ELAD, they own one of the most famous pieces of real estate in New York City, which is the Plaza Hotel. And they have a large international scope, handling such areas as Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Florida, India, Singapore. They are truly around the world and $1 billion company. So you have forward-thinking design and international development being brought to Galleria Mall. Now the actual development, the Galleria development, it is a master plan community. So there are 8 towers going in a scaling down height to maximize views of the various buildings going in there. And in those buildings, there'll be over 2,800 residential units, fully master planned. And what's really cool about a master plan community, it allows a developer to get really creative and do different things and create that keyword, a community. So on top of that, top of the residential development, they're also going to have a public park component, which will be over 7 acres of public green space, park space in that area, and a brand new community center. So the current community center on site, that will be demolished, relocated on the large piece of development land, and doubled in size. So I got my residential component, which is 2,800 units. I have my green space, over 7 acres of green space, and then I get my community center doubling in size. A whole community with that. And on top of the residential units, there'll be at-grade retail as well, which will bring in your neighborhood conveniences and amenities, your grocery stores, your restaurants, all that will be in its self-contained area in the community. And one other thing that I want to bring up about a master planned community, you have various phases which will be launching at different times. These, as the heights change, the prices change as well. So your first launch will be at the lower price point, and then every subsequent launch will be at a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. So if you're getting in on the ground level, you're almost guaranteed profit, because as the builder does its pro forma, they are planning increases in every successive building as they continue to launch. So as the community develops, prices will increase, and therefore you earn profit on your investment.
This isn't just a cookie cutter development, right, Alex? This
Not
is
at
a
all.
place that people are going to want to work and live. They've
Yeah.
spent significant time consulting with the community and the city of Toronto as well. And they've, addressed really all the concerns that were raised. They have significant pedestrian walkways, and they're really looking to build a community there that people can want to stay and make it a destination even, right?
You're going to start there in your 1-bedroom condo and move to your 2-bedroom condo, and then have your family in your 3-bedroom condo. That's what's going to happen. And speaking of that, this development, 50% of the units are going to be 2 bedrooms or larger. So it's not just your single residence units living in here. You're looking at multi-generational families that'll be able to stay in this area. So speaking of neighborhood, I always harp about transit, transit, transit. How am I going to get from point A to point B? Well, this is an interconnected community, or will be an interconnected community. So first off, we have the subway at Bloor and Dufferin. So Bloor and Dufferin, a 15-minute walk away. I'll have access to the Bloor Dufferin subway line that'll bring me east and west. Subway connectivity, very important. On top of that, I'm right along Dufferin. The Dufferin bus is a very busy bus route, and I would say a fairly reliable bus route.
Yeah, it's great, actually.
I've taken it. Kyle's taken it. Fairly reliable bus route. So what's that? Why that's important? You'll have inlaid bus stops in the development. So you'll actually have buses that'll be able to pull off, and you'll be able to get on the bus there. So what that means is that now I can go north-south. Well, what's north of me? Well, have you heard of a place called Yorkdale Mall? You can jump on the bus and get to Yorkdale Mall in 25 minutes. You'll be able to get there. And then if you want to go into cool, hip Queen West area, hop on the bus. You'll be in Queen West in only 15 minutes. Simple, doorstep, bus. You're at these great locations. So you have
very frequent services.
Very frequent. Yeah, again, Dufferin bus is a good bus. Sometimes you hear bus and you think negative. Mm-hmm. The Dufferin bus is a fast-moving bus. I can't promise it won't be busy on there, but it will show up, and you're going to have a bus that's going to run frequently north and south.
Get you where you need to go.
Get you where you need to go. And then on top of that, going into the bigger picture, only a 25-minute walk away is Bloor and Dundas and the Union Pearson Express. So what that means is I can walk 25 minutes and I'll get to the Union Pearson Express located at Bloor, and I can get to downtown core using that in just simply 8 minutes, or I can get direct connection to Pearson International Airport. So a huge convenience that way if I want to walk there, or I can just go down to the Dufferin subway, and they're building a direct connection from the subway to the Union Pearson Express as well at the Bloor Dundas station. So you get your interconnectivity of transit-wise. You have your subway 15-minute walk. You have your bus route, again, reliable Dufferin bus route, north-south frequent service. And you have really walking distance to the Union Pearson Express if you want to take that right up to the airport or downtown to catch a Jays game or some other activity downtown. So really easy, convenient access to many different amenities.
So there's a lot of great options to move around the city, a lot of transit, but I don't even think you need to leave the area. Like me living in kind of the Blurdale neighborhood, there's so many great restaurants to go to. You have the Emerson, 3Speed, Sugo. There's so many great restaurants east and west that I'd argue, there's such a great neighborhood there already. What do you think?
And I want to even bring up, and this may not be the cool thing to bring up, but where do you eat a lot? What's one of the conveniences you use?
Dufferin Mall.
Yeah, the Dufferin Mall is actually a great mall.
It has everything that you actually need. It might not be pretty. You might see some old Portuguese men talking at tables, but it is fantastic and very convenient.
Yeah, recently renovated. All your shops, all your amenities that you need on a day-to-day level
No
are going to
frills.
be there.
Walmart. I bought my wedding ring at the mall. It has everything you possibly need.
Yeah, so very convenient in regards to the Bloordale area, which has had a rapid transformation, which is all within walking distance of this building. And then on top of that, we have the actual DuPont and Dufferin area. If you go down there right now, you'd be going, Alex, why are you bringing me here? But you got to understand, if you want to get into an area and make a big jump in profit-wise, you have to look at these opportunities and have a forward-thinking vision. So I'm going to start off with my first investment condo, which if you've followed me, you've heard of this story many, many times. First condo I bought was in West Queen West. It was at the Carnaby. Kyle, actually, that was his first investment condo as well. We both paid in the mid 200s for our condo units, and our condo units are both worth in, I would say, the low to mid $500,000 range right now. When we both bought those units, West Queen West was not the second coolest neighborhood in the world. It was still sketchy. People were like, this kind of area is kind of run down. Why do I want to buy here, Alex? Why are you bringing me here? And I'm like, guys, look at the value in this area. Look at the cool restaurants that are starting to open up. You have obviously the Drake Hotel and other things. This area is on the cusp of change. And where we are now, we both have, he has a 1+10, I have a 1-bedroom unit. We're both over 500,000. We bought in the mid twos for our properties, a really affordable investment opportunity, getting on right before the sea of change. So let's talk about the sea of change that has already started in the DuPont and Dufferin area. You may not have heard it, but if you follow things, you've probably heard of Geary Avenue. Geary Avenue, as BlogTO puts it, is the most interesting street in Toronto. Kyle, you visited Geary Avenue before,
I have,
right?
and every time I see an article about a new restaurant or something cool happen, it always seems to be happening on Geary Avenue.
Yeah, you have a specialty brewers there. You have various shops, and these areas are not just restaurants; they're employment lands as well. So a lot of these companies have outlets throughout the city, but the actual work of preparing them is on this Geary Avenue, which also has some industrial space as well. So it is a teeming and it's a busy place during the day and on the weekends as people come check out this area. So what we've had as West Queen West has become less affordable, arts and culture have moved. Arts and culture has moved off of Queen West. It's already peaked. Arts and culture can't afford Queen West anymore. It's now moved to this DuPont and Dufferin area. Thrush Homes Empire, which used to be at Queen and Dovercourt. I remember throwing one of my first client appreciation parties at that venue. That's moved on to Geary. You have the Newbacher Gallery. I remember when that was just off of Queen West. That's moved up just north of DuPont, just north of the Galleria Mall. The arts and culture has moved to this area already, and that's where we're slowly starting to see the change of restaurants and everything like that. So it's happened. The same thing that happened in Queen West is happening in this area. And you know what happens with arts and culture when it moves? Then the people that are not involved in arts and culture, but are kind of the friends of arts and culture, they start coming. So that start bringing a little bit of money starts coming in. Then people that want to be cool, they start coming to the area going, okay, well, this is Instagrammable. I want to be in this area because I'm cool. So now the money starts more money starts flowing in because people are going to pay to be associated with the cool, with the arts and culture, because arts and culture define what's cool. Now we have the migration of people over there. So we've seen the turn of the tides. We have Geary. We've seen the art studios move from West Queen West, move to this area in Toronto. This is the next area to pop. But you didn't have to buy in down here and wait for it to go like this. You're getting in. Here's the bottom. Here's the long curve. Here's the long wait. Okay, now we have it. We're getting it on right before it's about to pop. That's where you have a good investment opportunity. That's what I did in West Queen West, and that's what's happening in this area. I said it in Hamilton, I'm going to say it for Toronto. Follow the money, follow arts and culture follow money. And speaking of following money, I had $1 billion international company that's investing in this area. So if they're doing it, shouldn't I be doing it? So speaking of following the money, I'm going to show you things that are coming up along DuPont and along Bloor to show that there are already very wealthy people that are investing in this area for the future development wise. That's already started and is continuing to go, and it's going to continue to go for the next 10 years along DuPont and along Bloor. So follow the money. Let's follow it. So the wave of change is happening on DuPont and starts at Bathurst. So Peter Freed, kind of bookending on both sides. So if Peter Freed, who has another site, shows his vision, he has 328 DuPont. He's putting 2 stories up there. Continuing on, we have 420 DuPont. That's the Tridel Bianca site. Already broke ground, nearly sold out, selling for well over $1,000 per square foot on the north side of DuPont, backing onto the tracks. Tridel, one of the largest developers in Toronto, billion-dollar company. They're putting their money here. Why shouldn't we be following their money? These people have vision. Continuing on, Lifetime Developments has a proposal at 500 DuPont. They're looking at putting a 9-story building there with nearly 150 units. They're another large developer in Toronto. Continuing down, I hit the RioCan site. RioCan, one of the largest retail players in Canada. They're building a rental building at Christie and DuPont. Construction is already happening right now. These will be high-end rentals located right at DuPont and Christie. Continuing on further, I hit the Sobeys, another Tridel development site. Now we're getting to Ossington and DuPont. They're putting a condo tower there, looking to put in over 300 units on the Sobeys development site. Again, Tridel, large multi-billion-dollar company, largest developer in Toronto. They're putting their money along DuPont. I continue on further. We have the development of Piano Towns, which are luxury townhomes, which are happening right on DuPont. Continuing on, then I hit the Galleria Mall development, bookending on that other end at Dufferin-Wise, our master plan community. So we see this massive transformation that's happening along DuPont. And these are just to name a few of the sites. There'll be many more sites as this development continues on. You'll see other buildings, proposals come up along DuPont, creating this new luxury corridor that's going to mirror Bloor Street along DuPont. And speaking of Bloor, we have massive development happening along Bloor as well. When we look at the headline, major developments are coming to West End. Is Bloor West the new Yonge Street? So when we think of Yonge Street, we've seen this transformation of Yonge Street. If we go back in the day, Yonge Street was known for cheap tourist shops and strip clubs. Like, that's actually what was along Yonge Street. It wasn't a great street. It was more of a seedy street in Toronto. And now we have some of the most expensive real estate in the city selling along Yonge Street. That transformation of the Yonge subway line has done incredible things for the values along Yonge Street. We see the most successful selling project in 2018, YSL. They were able to command $1,500 per square foot selling condo units on Yonge Street. We're going to see a similar transformation along the Bloor West corridor. But the difference is you'll be able to get in for under $1,000 per square foot along this corridor today. And we're expecting to see a similar transition along the Bloor Dufferin line as we saw along the Yonge Street line. So speaking of change that's happening along Bloor Street, so at Bloor and Dufferin, we have Metropia and Capital Developments. They have their own master plan community that's coming out. Another 6 condo towers that's going to be being developed at Dufferin and Bloor. Continuing along, we also have the massive site that's at Bloor and Dundas. This is owned by Choice Properties. Currently Loblaws, there's an LCBO on that site. There used to be a Zellers on that site. That area is being planned for a full mixed use community between condo towers, but also office towers as well. So we're not just bringing residential development, we're also bringing commercial development that are going to bring jobs to the area as well. This is going to be an area that people can walk out their door and be able to still work in that neighborhood. So we have, on top of residential units, jobs, office jobs coming, high-paying office jobs coming to the Bloor Dundas area, but there's also jobs currently walking distance to this site. If you're a gamer, you know who Ubisoft is. They're one of the largest video game makers in the world, and we know that Toronto is a tech hotbed for the world in regards to jobs-wise. Ubisoft is only a 15-minute walk from the Galleria Mall development-wise. If you don't know Ubisoft, maybe you know some of their games. Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed, these are being developed right here in Toronto, and these jobs are at the doorstep of the Galleria Mall. And then on top of that, you have the Junction Triangle area, which is already home to tech jobs. One of Canada's fastest growing companies, Fix Software, is located in the Junction area, Junction Triangle area. And then on top of that, Castle Point, the developer in that area, is also looking at putting commercial units in that Junction Triangle space just at Perth and Sterling Avenue. And they're looking to bring in a number of jobs in the area with their commercial development. Now we're seeing residential development. We're seeing commercial development following that Bloor West, that corridor. We have our transit infrastructure with subway, bus lines, and Union Pearson Express all accessible to this site, but you can get a fraction of the downtown Toronto condo prices. So Kyle, to answer your original question, yes, there are still opportunities in the city of Toronto that are affordable to the everyday investor. And the Galleria Mall, the Galleria development is going to be one of the best valued investments for individuals coming to the market today.
Wow, great. I'm definitely excited about it.
And it's in our backyards. We know it. We know it like the back of our hand. So if you're interested in this development, send us an email at contact@alexjwilson.com or call us or text us at 416-996-5181. And do not hesitate, because once this opportunity is gone, it's gone. So from everyone, alexjwilson.com and Remax Wealth Builders Real Estate, building your financial freedom and helping you build generational wealth for the long term. Talk soon, everyone. Bye-bye.